So it's the start of June, and I've just hoed along these rows of leeks, and they've doubled in size since I put them in, so that's grand. And I've weeded along one row of the garlic, but the other row, I can see, is really quite weedy, so we need to crack on with that. Just down here by the path, just coming round and down, we've got a foxglove starting to grow there, which is nice. And of course we've got the dead nettles, which the bees love. So the dead nettles over there, dead because they don't sting, basically, yeah, but loads of flowers, and therefore I'm keeping that lot of dead nettles there until the last minute. Yeah, then I'll dig them up and we can dig that over. I've got another, I don't know, 24 leeks to go out there. They're in pots at the moment. They are the smaller ones of the lot, so hopefully they'll be all right. But I'm growing them on, and of course the purple sprouting is still purple sprouting. There it is, yeah. So there you go. Anyway, last night it came over very still, and an open sky. So I covered up the beans. Here's the bean sticks with their triangulation, and I'm going to take some of this off now, but you know, it's the 1st of June, and you just don't want that really late frost getting to the beans, but you do want them in the ground. So 10 minutes just covering these up would it's just a safeguard. Now it can come off. So I'll just crack on with that. And so the rain will have done these a lot of good. Yeah, well mucked, nice and damp soil. They'll crack on, and as you can see, they're starting to try and curl around the bean sticks. And those in the pots there in the tray, they are bush beans. And we were thinking of putting those between the garlic. That way, you know, we can harvest the garlic around them. That should be quite good. Hopefully. It might be a really bad idea, but you know, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? So this fleece here at the back there, I think I will leave that on for a while. It's only held on with clips, but it will just in case the wind gets up or something like that. Just reduces the through draft. Right, let's crack on with something else. I'm just getting the opportunity, bright sunny day, virtually no breeze, and look at this May blossom. Isn't it gorgeous? And that was a confirmation that it was. Beautiful. It's that time of year, and the weather has just changed again from that rainy spell we've had, and it's a beautiful bright blue sky, and all the blossom is out. You've got to stand back and just appreciate it for what it is. Okay, I gave that a tap and then put a 3/8 breaker in there, and with a little bit of extra force. Now, is this going to come shooting out this way? It probably is. And it looks horrible. Horrible and black, which is about par for the course of this car. So here we go. Look at the state of that. Right, and I'm going to show you what new ATV looks like. So this should have been changed 30,000 miles ago, and it wasn't. Can you see that? It's a light cherry colour, not black. Okay. So these are the tomato plants. You know, they're really looking quite healthy, aren't they? And now is the time to string them up so they can climb up a string. But first of all, we need to take the side shoots out. Now this is a constant thing with some types of tomatoes, like for instance Gardener's Delight. You can leave the side shoots on, which is what this one is, but I'm just going to remove some of the side shoots from the bottom. And we'll need to string it up anyway, and you can just pinch them out with your thumbnail. And if you see there's one in the leaf node, so just pinch it out. And there's quite a big one at the back here. There we go. That's the majority of them. I haven't grown Gardener's Delight for a long time, but I do like to grow tomatoes with a single stem, so perhaps I'll take them all out. And that means that the apical dominance of the leading shoot continues to produce good, strong, upwardly mobile growth. And I don't know whether you can see, but there's the first lot of buds there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Not having a cameraman or camera person. Where are we? There we are, see? That's the first set of flowers about to start. So, having done that, I'll just do this other one, which is a Ailsa Craig again, nipping the side shoots out. I probably should have done this slightly earlier, but it's been a bit hectic the last week or two. And this one here, the flowers are just about to come out. Right, let's reposition the camera then. So, there's the Gardener's Delight, and up here we've got a lump of timber that's been there for quite a long time, and that's what I string the tomatoes to. There's various bits throughout this glass house. That gives it a good height. So we'll just put a string there with a bowline. Okay. Oh, that'll be enough. That's good. And then hopefully you'll be able to see this red string, unless you're colourblind, which is a problem. Anyway, so we've got this red string. So effectively what you need to do, or what I do, is I wrap it around the plant in a clockwise direction several times, and then bundle the remainder and tuck it into the soil in the pot and pack it down, and then that will continue to grow up. Now there's the leading shoot with the flowers, and we've got a side shoot there, so let that grow up there then, and it will just gradually wind up there. Yep. And I'll do the rest of them. And then we'll have to, let's just spin round, not too fast. We got more lettuces to pot on. I sprinkled that seed very, very finely, but you see how well it germinates. We got far too many there, but I'll pot on about 25 or something like that, and then I'll try and leave some of them in that pot. So I'll drop it out, break off a section, put the remainder back in the pot and fill the hole in with some compost, and then pot on what I've taken out. That way hopefully the ones left in there will be retarded a bit. Right, I'm going to crack on with these other tomatoes first. And there we are, some potted on. And then we've got to crack on with some purple sprouting and some kale, again sown far too thickly, but that'll be homegrown seed. So I've got to now go and riddle some more compost, come back and pot some of these on, not too many, and just spinning round through the glass house window. We've got some flowers coming on, which is great, big daisy type things. And I've just been mowing some of the grass and then mowing around these. These are naturalised, and they came here of their own free will, as it were, or on their own accord. So we didn't plant them, and these are, I believe, marsh orchids. And it's great, and the patch is slowly spreading, so there must be something just about this area that they like. It's on the edge of the pond, so this sort of brow of the edge of the pond is actually drier than the surrounding land because there's better drainage. But there you go. They seem to be healthy, returning every year. Grand. That's another little sort of habitat bonus. And just because it's midsummer doesn't mean that we stop cutting firewood. A little bit every sort of once a week, sort of maybe twice a week, 3 or 4 of these big barrow loads. It's not a great deal of effort, but it gets the job done in a steady fashion. I mean, it's already been stood in the stack for 2 years, so it's quite dry, but another 6 months in the shed, and of course this will be the last bay that we get to come next spring. Yeah, it'll be right. And so the whole process and the seasons cycle through. And of course there was fixing the Emerson, and as you can see now it's working nicely. It's a sort of light cloudy day, so we're not getting full generation, but it's working, which is great. And the breeze is getting up, but just here in the corner of this watershed, hopefully we can see the bumblebees. They're back here for another year, and it's this time of the year you notice them. There's several other nests around the property, including one that's in the most weird place. I've got my hand around the microphone to stop the wind getting in there as much as possible, but we'll go and have a look at this other one. I had to move the tractor last week to load up the trailer with assorted scrap, and there you go. Let's go and have a look. So here's the front axle of this 684, the one with a really nice loader on it, and just there you can adjust the width of these axles. Yeah, and just there, I think we just saw one coming out then. I think these are those bumblebees with the white behind. European bumblebees or something like that. There's one just coming out now. We'll just give it a moment. There we go. Yeah, it's got a white behind. They've decided to nest in the front axle. I mean, so I started the tractor up. Didn't use it for more than like 10 minutes or something, and there was all these bumblebees around the tractor. I thought, what's going on? And when I came back and parked in the same place, all the rest of them went straight to that front axle there. So effectively it means I can't use this tractor again. There goes one. For a couple of months. But luckily I won't need to. However, there is a leak on one of the hydraulic pipes, so I've got to sort that out. Anyway, that's another job, but just interesting, eh? And in amongst all this lot, of course, there was the Woodland walk, which was a very pleasant experience. Just looking here, dog roses, that's a nice sight. We're on wobbly cam, and of course the breeze is making things move around anyway, but that's quite nice, isn't it? A different feature of a slightly different month. The seasons are moving on, so we're just going to go and have a look at this hayfield. And the comfrey here, just by this gate, is definitely taller than the gate, and there's loads of bumblebees around it. However, moving on, the last time we looked at this hayfield, it was really quite short. I'm not sure where we're on. I'm struggling through this a bit. And we're into the sun. So let's move around. It really is reasonably tall now. It's a good 3 foot tall. Doesn't take long, and the seed's setting, so it will be time for the July raiser soon. We planted some trees down here and we went to have a look at them. Oh, I can't remember now, a couple of months ago. Let's just go and have a look. This is some of this 4 foot high. I did a bit of weed control round them. I don't know how good it was. Oh yeah. Yeah, and we've got a thistle growing in there. Let me just put the camera down and get rid of that. So that's better. Yeah, just a bit of weed control round each. It just stops that competition for moisture. And this one here, you see, it's out of the tube, which is great. And these alders are, some of them are out. Oh good lord, look at these ones. Now if you remember, these alders were, I don't know, about 12 inches tall, so they were halfway up that tube. And now look at them. We did have some rain, which has helped enormously, but the weed control definitely helps. It stops the grass overtopping the new plants, and it just stops immediate competition for moisture. I'm trying to see here. Oh yeah, I can see it now. And we've got a nettle growing in there, so yet again I'll just put the camera down and we'll get rid of that nettle. Now that's a bit better, but also can you see there something's chewed the top off it? A deer probably. Annoying. There we go. Yeah, that looks like a red oak. Let me zoom out a bit. There we go. Yes, that is a red oak, and that's growing really well. And that's another red oak. Why they're too close together, I'm not sure. And the spruce. You just remove that bit of grass, and there we have a Monterey cypress. Hopefully that'll get bombing on. Anyway, it's the middle of summer. We've just come past the summer solstice. Everything's green and warm, and it looks like these trees, for the majority, are establishing themselves. So we're near the end of June now. It's a slightly breezy day, but look at these leeks. They've really motored on with the wet and the warm, which is great. And just zooming out slightly, the beans are getting up there. Yeah, it's just everything's growing on well. I'll just show you the tomatoes. And look at the difference from the start of the month. Yeah, they're the best part of 3 foot high now. And just down there, and that is an Ailsa Craig, which is starting to fruit. Let me just see if I can see. There we are. You know, another week or so, and we'll maybe, yeah, about a week, and we should probably have some ripe tomatoes, which is great. And the one next to it, the Gardener's Delight, it's full in flower and will keep doing so. And the one over there, which is a Roma, just at the back there, and the sun's just coming out. There we go. We've got some plum tomatoes starting. So we're going to have plenty of tomatoes. I just need to keep feeding these and watering them and side shooting them, and it'll be great. And I made some vegetable stew a couple of days ago and took frozen tomatoes out the freezer. Yeah, dumped them in hot water so the skins peel off, and then put them in the stew. Yeah, and that's our homegrown from last year. On top of that, let me just zoom round again very steadily and down, and here's the garlic, and they're phenomenal size. They're wonderful, and these weren't anything special. These were just a couple of bulbs from the local fruit and veg shop, and I think we'll put in the end of November, end of October, start of November. Put them in ridges so that they stay a bit drier. And I just think the combination of the right amount of warmth and the right amount of wet has produced some very large bulbs, which is great. And they're drying off now. There's one lot there and another lot in there. You know, they're a good 2.5 inches in diameter, which is wonderful. And zooming round, we're following round the potato patch. The potatoes have got long and leggy, and so therefore we can start digging those. And where are we? I'm just trying to see if I can see this in the camera. There we go. And a cucumber. And coming round a bit more tomatoes, and some lettuce that have gone to seed, or they've bolted. It's too warm in here now, so the last lot of lettuce that I think you saw me potting on at the start of this video are now in the vegetable plot where the garlics were. And I'm in amongst all this lot. You know, I've been going off to do a bit of work, and I've added little bits to show what's been going on during the month with bit more servicing on the car, a woodland walk, investigating that Dyson battery vacuum cleaner, fixing the Emerson. I've been doing a bit more on the car, and that video will come up probably next week. But there's the purple sprouting and the kale, they've grown on now. I'm going to try and put some outside under netting and see how we get on. Haven't yet seen any cabbage white butterflies, but no doubt they will be around at some point fairly soon. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this catch up, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers for now.